So are you thinking about moving to Burleson, Texas? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons, the yin and the yang, the ins and the outs of Burleson, Texas, and let you know if this is somewhere you could see yourself living. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you about a really cool event that they hold there every year. And we're getting after it right now. So if this is your first time to the channel and you would like to know everything there is about moving to Burleson, Texas, or around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications so you can be made aware of the next time we drop a new video on the channel. If you are returning and you have subscribed, I really appreciate you coming back. So my name is Elizabeth Oliva. This is the Fort Worth Home Tours, and we get calls and texts from people just like you every single day looking to make a move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So whether you're moving in 8 days, 8 weeks, or 8 months, go ahead and give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or book a Zoom. We would love to connect with you and see how we can help you make a smooth move to the Fort Worth area, and particularly Burleson in this video. Pro number one. Schools. The schools have an A- rating. The people move to Burleson because of the school. So overall, the school system is highly sought after. And that is why it's a really attractive place to be. So you can look it up on niche.com or greatschools.org, and you'll see that they have a really, really good rating, a great, great area to have your kids go to the schools here in Burleson, Texas. Pro number two. Burleson, Texas, even though it has a population of less than 60,000 people, they have 20 different parks in this tiny little town. And it's really not that far from Fort Worth. It's about 20 minutes to downtown Fort Worth, but you feel like you are way out in the country. You have 20 different parks to choose from for hiking and biking and outdoor activities. So it's a really, really great place to move and bring your family if you love to do outdoor activities. And I've mentioned this before in another video, Burleson is known for prairie dogs, which is not normal for this area of Dallas-Fort Worth. They came with the oil industry when they came to the Burleson area, and they brought prairie dogs. So you can find some of them in the park. So that is pro number two. Pro number three. A small town feel right outside of Fort Worth, just a stone's throw away. You are going to be in a small town atmosphere in Burleson, Texas. You'll feel like you're further out, but you're really close to the big city, but you feel like you're in a really small town. It's got that small town family vibe that people absolutely love. So you can actually be 10 minutes from the HEB and feel like you're way out in the country and have a beautiful home on a really great lot and be close to all kinds of conveniences, which are right here in Burleson and also not very far into Fort Worth. So that is pro number three. Pro number four. Low cost of living. Can you believe that you could actually buy a home in Burleson, Texas for under $200,000? Yes, those are still available in the Burleson area. You have everything from under $2,000 all the way into the millions if you so desire. You have homes that are absolutely brand new. We have new construction in Burleson, and you have homes that have been around since like the 1950s, and a lot of redos in the older neighborhoods. In the older neighborhoods, you do have, of course, the mature trees, the bigger lots, and then you have new construction if you would rather have new construction. It's available all here in Burleson. So now let's get into the cons. Con number one, 3 words for you, I-35. I-35 is the main vein taking you into Dallas-Fort Worth, and it can get pretty congested. So if you are commuting into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it may be kind of tough. It may not be fun sometimes if you're having to go up Interstate I-35. However, there are some alternate routes depending on where you live in Burleson. So if you're on the I-35 side, there is an alternate route on Crowley Road going north into the south side of Fort Worth. If you were on the west side of Burleson, you could hop on the Chisholm Toll Road, and it's really fast and it can get you into downtown Fort Worth or anywhere around Fort Worth really, really quick. So there are some alternate ways. If you want to go over to Mansfield, Arlington, the mid-cities, there is Rendon Crowley, which is kind of a southern route that takes you off of I-35, but it's kind of a back way that you can get into the Metroplex to the middle, to Arlington, Mansfield, like the mid-cities area. So I-35 is probably one of the biggest cons if you're commuting. If you're not commuting, you really don't have to worry about it. If you're working from home or you're retired, not a big deal. Con number 2 is also involving traffic. There is one big main vein in Burleson. It is 174, also called Wilshire Boulevard. Lots of lights. Everything is pretty much off of Wilshire Boulevard. A lot of your shopping, a lot of the stores, everything's off of Wilshire. So if you are living on the south side down 174 towards Joshua, which is the next town down, and you need to get all the way to 35, it could take you a minute because you've got to go through a bunch of lights. But again, if you don't need to go that way and you're on the west side, you can hop up on the Chisholm. You can hop up on Crowley Road and kind of avoid 174. So it really just depends, but it can get a little crowded because it is the main drag, is the main vein. So 174, if you want to, route around it, there are ways around town to do that, but it can kind of get a little tricky with the traffic. So that's con number 2, kind of connected to con number 1. Con number 3 is limited nightlife. So you really have some awesome restaurants and breweries that probably roll up about 10 p.m. So if you're really wanting late nightlife, then you're going to have to go into Fort Worth, which again is not that far, but it's a kind of a sleepy town. So for some people, that's what they really want. So you do have some limited nightlife, but it's charming. You got a lot of great restaurants. Yeah, like I said, a couple of breweries. So a lot of the famous barbecue places that are in Fort Worth and Dallas are already in Burleson. So it's kind of nice because you don't have to go into Fort Worth to find some really great places to hang out. So it can be a pro, can be a con, but if you're like a really nightlife person, Burleson may not be the place you want to be. You might want to be downtown Fort Worth or downtown Dallas to catch that nightlife. And finally, con number 4, which is a con for Texas in general, which is our summers get really hot here. So if you're coming from a milder climate, maybe you're coming from California, maybe you're coming from New York, our summers are pretty hot and our humidity is not as bad as Houston, but it can get a little bit humid. But then again, we have a lot of AC here. We use our ACs all the time, pretty much all throughout the year. So you can get acclimated and you can be in a nice cool home and get out of the heat. But just keep in mind, we do have some really hot summers. And the bugs, we get mosquitoes and we get fire ants here in Texas. If you don't know about fire ants, look it up, look them up. You want to make sure you do know about that. Mosquitoes come out, dusk, that time of day. Definitely want to have your mosquito repellent or get your yard treated for the mosquitoes because we have those here and they can get pretty gnarly sometimes. So that's definitely con number 4. So all in all, Burleson, Texas is a great place to live. It may have some cons, but it has a lot of pros. And I told you if you were sticking around to the end, I would tell you about something that happens in Burleson every year that's really fun. So what they have is the BTX HoneyTour Carnival. They have it every year in May, and it's a 4-day event that celebrates honey with live music, novelty entertainment, carnival rides, arts and craft vendors, food, and plenty of fun, and free parking. So if you like honey and you know how important honey is for your health, local honey especially, Burleson might be a fun place to be. So if you enjoyed what I told you about in this video, if it brought you some value, go ahead and subscribe, click the bell for notifications so you can be made aware the next time we drop a new video on the channel so you can know if moving to Texas, moving to Dallas, Fort Worth, or maybe even Burleson is a great move for you. And this is Elizabeth Oliva. This is a Fort Worth Home Tours. And I'd love to hear from you. If you want to give me a call, if you want to text me, send me an email, book a Zoom. I'd love to get to know you better, ask you some questions to figure out if we can help you make a smooth move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So until next time, and when you come to town, I hope to show you around.